Okay, I want to welcome everybody for braving the storm here. We thought we'd keep the temperature down in here a little bit to remind you that we're still in winter weather here. We're going to talk today about business solutions and climate change, and I'm going to kick it off here. I was at the Copenhagen negotiations in December, and I was representing our foundation, the Will Steger Foundation, and our mission is to educate, inspire, and empower people. In particular, we work with youth. We do our normal K-12 curriculum in climate change, but we also work a lot with young climate activists, basically from the age of 16 up to roughly 24. So we took a delegation of 12 youth from the Midwest, ages 20 to 25. We also, part of our mission is to consolidate the Midwest, especially in the business arena, around solutions to global warming. And this was really evident when we were in Copenhagen. The United States, for myself, it was a very positive get-together meeting. The United States, first of all, had incredible leadership there. We're really proud to see all the various departments and everybody was there. And for myself, I've been involved in negotiations like this before, but it was the seriousness of all the countries together, especially the big power countries of China, United States, the EU, and Japan were really serious about finding this. There was, again, in any negotiation of this complex, especially behind closed doors, there's really some real hard debating and head scratching there, because we're talking about retooling our whole economies globally. But treaties like this never happen on one sitting like this. It's an ongoing process. So I was very encouraged there. But what was obvious, so what's really holding everything up worldwide is our political agenda here in the United States. Our ability, our need to get a climate bill that's related to jobs passed in the U.S. Senate and Congress. And this is what's holding us up globally. And I do see, Nicole and I and the Will Steger Foundation, we do see the Midwest as being really instrumental in getting this legislation passed, because we have certain blocks in the United States, the Northeast, California, the Northwest, that are pretty much consolidated around energy and jobs. But the Midwest, as we know, can go either way. It's not far right or left, but it basically pivots sometimes on a ball like that. And I'm really convinced that Midwest is going to be a very, very strong player here. But what's most important, and why I'm very hopeful on this, is the solution is definitely economic. We have three crises at the same time here. We have a serious environmental climate crisis. We have an economic crisis that we're all trying to get out of, and we have a national security issue. A lot of that is based on the fact that we only own 3% of the world's petroleum reserves, and we rely on foreign governments for 75% of our petroleum, which constantly keeps us in this never-ending chain of wars that we end up getting to secure our energy needs. So businesses are going to be a very important part of this, and sustainable energy is the direction we're going to go. Terry is going to talk about a little bit about their meetings in December, or probably in Washington, D.C. here, around clean jobs and energy, and then we'll go a little bit more in depth after that. So, Terry Gips, that we all know.
Great. Thanks so much, Will. I just want to say a special thank you to you, Will, and Nicole, and everybody with the Steger Foundation for organizing this and for bringing us together. My name is Terry Gips, and I'm the CEO and President of Sustainability Associates, a consulting firm working with Fortune 500 and small and medium-sized businesses, government agencies, cities, on how they can save money, improve performance, and become more environmentally and socially responsible. I was a member of the 11-person delegation from here in Minnesota to the Business Advocacy Day, or days actually, for jobs and climate and new energy leadership in Washington, D.C. that took place just last week. And that brought together 220 business leaders from small and medium-sized companies, as well as financial investors representing 19 different states. And we really brought a message to Washington about the importance of passing comprehensive climate and clean energy legislation. that includes a declining cap on carbon emissions. Our Minnesota delegation met with a Minnesota congressional delegation. We got to hear from a number of leaders, and Rebecca will tell us more about it. I just wanted to share 3 items with you, just very briefly. The first is that 30 years ago, I had the privilege of working in the White House during the last energy crisis with long gas lines, and I was assigned to the White House Emergency Energy Task Force. And our job was to try to figure out, how do we keep the country functioning? How do we get fuel to the farmers and the truckers? And I was given a great job of writing about how Americans were conserving energy. And what few people realize is how patriotic we were. How much energy we conserved in our homes, our schools, our workplaces, and our communities. And if we kept conserving energy the way we were back then, with none of these compact fluorescents and Energy Star appliances and the products that many of our companies are now making, that today we'd be importing no foreign oil whatsoever from the Persian Gulf. So we really have the power to turn things around, and I think that our delegation was really speaking about that and how we can have a clean energy future for Minnesota. The second thing I wanted to share, that I shared with many of our Minnesota delegation, was something that people don't realize, and that is, people often have said that, businesses have not been so supportive of addressing this, but actually what people don't realize is that there has been an industry that's been supporting addressing climate change legislation for a long time, and that's the reinsurance industry. These are the companies that pay the insurance for companies like State Farm, Allstate, and other insurance companies. And Swiss Re, the largest of these firms, estimates that within 20 years, the cost from the catastrophes from global-related climate change will amount to $300 billion a year. That's 3 Katrinas a year. And so as a result of that, they will go bankrupt. We will not have insurance to provide for homeowners and for businesses. Our whole economy is at risk. And people need to understand this, and we need to address this as soon as possible. And the last thing that I wanted to share was that we met with 2 significant Republicans that shared, I think, a very important message. One is a Republican pollster, Frank Luntz. And what he said to us, I think, was very significant, and I want to just share with you. He said, this addressing climate change is as patriotic as you can be. It's about America as #1. Most of the great inventions and innovations come from here. We're trying to impact Congress. This cuts across from the liberal wing of the Democratic Party to the conservative wing of the Republican Party. He's trying to get the Republican Party to get that this needs to be addressed. This is a bottom line business issue that businesses need to support. And the second message, and last thing I wanted to share with you, is that message from Senator Lindsey Graham, a very conservative Republican from South Carolina, and this is what he said to us. Some have said it's wise to do an energy bill only. I don't think it's wise. It's a kick the can down the road approach. You have to deal with carbon pollution and pricing carbon. The money that can be made can only be done if you put a price on carbon. You can't kick it down the road. Forget it with me. The energy bill doesn't make us energy independent. And then he added, we have a chance to go ahead and lead. If we take half measures, they'll just get worse. This is the best opportunity I've seen in my lifetime for a Republican and Democrat to do something together.